Hello students, I am here with the second part of 9 Science second chapter, that is matter around us pure? In the previous videos, you all have studied about the properties of true solution, colloidal solution, suspension, then saturated solution and unsaturated solution, and also about solubility. Okay, now I will tell you some interesting thing about the mixture. You must have heard about alloys. Alloys are actually mixtures of two or more metals or a metal and a non-metal. Now, although we cannot separate components of alloy by any physical method, but still alloys are considered as mixture. You know why? Because alloy shows the properties of its constituents and can have variable composition. Like if we take an example of brass. So brass is an alloy of 30% zinc and 70% copper. But now when zinc and copper mix with itself, they will not make any new substance. But the brass will show the properties of zinc also and the properties of copper also, and that is why alloys are mixtures and they are not considered as a compound, because no new substance is forming and the properties are of the substance is not changing. The properties are retained, properties of the components are retained in alloy. That's why alloys are mixtures. In any solution, the amount of solute and amount of solvent can be varied. It is not necessary that there should be fixed amount of solute and fixed amount of solvent in any solution. Now, depending upon the amount of solute present in the solvent, solution can be called as dilute solution or concentrated solution or saturated solution or unsaturated solution. Normally in laboratories, in chemistry lab, dilute and concentrated solutions are used. Now, how to find out whether the solution is dilute solution or concentrated solution? So for that we will learn how to find concentration of solution. Okay, so what is the meaning of concentration of solution? The concentration of a solution is the amount of solute present in the given amount of solvent. There is a formula to find concentration. Concentration of a solution is equal to amount of solute upon amount of solvent, or amount of solute upon amount of solution. Now, normally percentage method is used to find the concentration, and that is the concentration of a solution can be expressed as mass by mass percentage or mass by volume percentage. It can also be expressed by volume percentage also, and the formula is mass by mass percentage of solution is equal to mass of solute upon mass of solution multiplied by 100. Mass by volume percentage of solution is equal to mass of solute upon volume of solution multiplied by 100. Now, normally we find out mass in gram and volume in ml. So, according to the given data in the question, you can use the formula. Now, suppose on page number 17 of your textbook, there is one example 2.1. In that example, it is given that a solution contains 40 gram of common salt. Now, common salt is solute. So, it is mass of solute is equal to 40 gram. And in 320 gram of water. So, now mass of solute is equal to 40 gram and mass of solvent, that is water in this case, is equal to 320 gram. Therefore, the mass of total solution will be 40 gram plus 320 gram is equal to 360 gram. So this is mass of solution. Now we have to find mass percentage of solution, that is mass percentage of solution is equal to mass of solute upon mass of solution multiplied by 100. Mass of solute upon mass of solution multiplied by 100 is equal to 40 upon 360 multiplied by 100, and when you calculate it will become 11.1%. So this way we can find mass percentage of any solution. Students, in the beginning of this chapter I told you about the purpose of studying the properties of different types of mixture. Why we studied the property of different types of mixture? So that according to their property we can apply different techniques to separate the components of mixture. In standard 6th and 7th you must have studied about the separation method to separate the components of heterogeneous mixture. We have studied hand picking method, sieving method, filtration method, winnowing method, magnetic method. Like if the mixture consists of iron and sulfur, you can easily separate them by using a magnet. Same way, if a mixture consists of two components of different size, then you can separate them by sieving. If the mixture consists of one component as liquid and another one as solid, then we can use the method of filtration to separate them. Now in this chapter we will study few more special techniques to separate the components of mixture, and these techniques are as follows, that is evaporation, centrifugation, decantation, sublimation, chromatography, distillation and fractional distillation. Now according to the type of mixture, and or you can say the type of components which are present in the mixture, we can apply the suitable method to separate its components. And why do we need to separate the components of mixture? To use the components as per our requirement, right? Simple thing, a crude oil which comes from the ground consists of so many things like petrol, diesel, kerosene, tar, plastic, everything, right? Now if it is in the form of mixture we cannot use it, but if all the components are separated, so we can use it as per our requirement. So we need to study the method of separation to separate the components and to utilize it. Now the first method of separation is evaporation. The word itself shows that this method is very simple. This method is used for separating a volatile component, that is solvent, from a non-volatile component, that is solute, by heating the mixture. Now if a mixture consists of two components in which one is solute and another one is solvent, and the main principle is that the solvent should be volatile, means by heating the solvent the solvent should be converted into vapor form. And the simple example is, see, ink. Ink we use is a mixture of dye and water. Dye is a colored part of ink. Okay, color of ink is actually dye. If some ink is heated in a dish as shown in the figure, the water evaporates and the dye is left in the dish. So in this way we can separate ink and dye, that means water which is present in ink and dye. Now similarly we can separate the mixture of salt and water or sugar and water by evaporation. Now, while traveling through train, you must have seen salt pan on the side of sometime railway track in the area which is near about sea. So, why these salt pans are made? Actually, salt is obtained from sea water. Now, to separate salt from water, a large amount of water is filled up in the pits and it is allowed to evaporate. Once the entire water is evaporated, salt is left behind, which consists of lots of impurities and dust particles. That salt is purified, and that is the salt which we are using in our houses, in our food. So this is a very simple way of separating solute from volatile solvent. Second method of separation is centrifugation method. Now normally this method is used to separate the components of colloidal solution. The method of separating denser particle and lighter particle from a mixture by using a centrifuging machine is called centrifugation. Now in the figure you can see this machine which is known as centrifuging machine. In this machine the wheel rotates very fast. Now the simple example of centrifugation is in our house when butter is separated from buttermilk. How it is separated? Normally we use blender or mixture to separate the butter from buttermilk. The layer of butter floats on the top of the mixture as the particles of butter are lighter and so they float. Now see, if we take some milk in a centrifuging machine and spin it rapidly, the cream separates from the milk because the cream is less dense than milk. It means the weight of cream is light, so it floats on the top of the milk. Normally, sometime in blood test also, this centrifugation method is used to find out the counts of blood which is present in the body. Now the principle of centrifugation is that the denser particles are forced to the bottom and the lighter particles stay at the top when spun rapidly. So on this principle centrifuging machine works. Now application of centrifugal method. It means this method is used in which areas? Number 1, it is used in diagnostic laboratories for blood and urine test. So in laboratories, in blood test and urine test, this machine is used, then or this method is used. Then it is used in dairies and home to separate butter from cream, and it is used in washing machine to squeeze out water from wet clothes. Yes, the last one we see in our house daily. When clothes moves very fast due to centrifugal force, water drains out from the clothes due to the speed. Water is thrown out of the clothes and clothes become dry.